Research suggests 37% of grade 4 students can't participate successfully within the classroom due to incompetent reading levels, with around 30% of these students having a reading difficulty. A reading difficulty is a persistent challenge or challenges a child may experience in one or more of the essential skills needed to become a proficient reader, also known as the 6 pillars of reading. These include comprehension, decoding, fluency, phonemic awareness, phonics, and vocabulary. These difficulties can be caused by internal factors, for example a learning or physical disability, or external factors such as inadequate teaching or access to curriculum, socioeconomic disadvantage, or lack of support. However, the term reading difficulty has been argued nationally and internationally, resulting in misconceptions and assumptions about students with reading difficulties, with many people discrediting the term due to multiple unscientific definitions. It is important to understand that unlike learning disabilities, when these students are provided with appropriate support, evidence-based instruction and strategies, they have the potential to develop age-appropriate reading proficiency, ultimately increasing their chances of academic success, employment, and overall quality of life. It has also been argued that the ability to read evolves naturally and spontaneously, with teacher instruction having minimal influence on overall reading acquisition. This isn't always the case. Some students require explicit teaching of the foundational skills to support or prevent them from developing a reading difficulty and falling behind, not only in reading, but in all learning areas. The delayed development of these foundational reading skills can be detrimental to a student's overall enjoyment and motivation towards reading, resulting in less opportunities to develop or improve reading ability. To make matters worse, students with reading difficulties often develop learned helplessness, where they begin to believe they're incapable of success and lose confidence in their abilities. So what is the most effective evidence-based reading program to support students with reading difficulties? There continues to be debate between a whole language program or systematic synthetic phonics program. A recent study in New Zealand took 24 6 and 7-year-old struggling readers. 12 participated in a systematic phonemic awareness and alphabetic coding intervention program, while 12 continued learning to read in a whole language classroom. Results showed that those in the intervention program outperformed the control group, increasing their reading proficiency by 9 to 14 months. So if all the research is pointing towards an explicit systematic synthetic phonic approach to support and rectify reading difficulties, why aren't all Australian schools implementing it? After all, it's our legal obligation to support all students' learning needs. The Melbourne Declaration highlights Australian schooling promotes equity and excellence by providing high-quality schooling free from discrimination or disadvantage due to a disability. This goal is supported by the Disability Discrimination Act 1992, Disability Standards for Education 2005, and the Australian Curriculum Assessment and Reporting Authority, which states students with a disability or difficulty are supported to participate in the Australian curriculum on the same basis as their peers. So how can we do this? The response to intervention RTI model is a 3-tiered approach to instruction, assessment, and intervention that meets all students' educational needs. Tier 1 offers evidence-based explicit instruction of reading skills with an emphasis on phonic development. Universal screening occurs in this tier through ongoing observations. Tier 2 intervention is provided to small groups at risk of reading underachievement through intensive, targeted, and repetitious instruction. And Tier 3 is one-to-one intensive reading instruction provided to students who failed to respond to previous intervention. Although the RTI model incorporates universal screening, a balanced assessment approach improves early identification because no single description or method can identify the diverse traits of reading difficulties. Assessment must identify strengths and weaknesses in vocabulary, comprehension, decoding, and reading fluency. Observations are a beneficial assessment method. The teacher should focus on observing the student's attitudes, use of reading strategies, motivation, engagement, self-correction, discussions, and reading fluency. Running records are another assessment method that tests multiple reading skills, including word recognition, fluency, decoding, and comprehension. The UK National Phonics Screening Check is another inexpensive assessment that identifies students' phonic decoding skills. Once a reading difficulty is identified, evidence-based strategies need to be implemented focusing on developing the learner's areas of weakness in engaging and motivating ways. To develop phonics, strategies need to focus on decoding and recognising letter-sound relationships. Teachers should provide students with a phonics chart to use as a visual cue and opportunities to play matching phonics or fishing for phonics games. To build vocabulary knowledge, have students create a concept map of unfamiliar words and define them using prior knowledge, a dictionary, or look them up online. To improve fluency, modelling of fluent reading and repeated practice is key. When reading, have students repeat read a section of the text until it becomes fluent. For 20 minutes a day, have students read aloud in small mixed ability groups and allow opportunities for students to provide constructive feedback to each other. To develop comprehension, provide opportunities for student-centered discussions about the text. Have students develop questions before, during and after reading. Use graphic organisers to summarise or identify key points, and think pair share. If we identify reading difficulties early and adopt these strategies into our classroom, we can support students in becoming proficient readers and literate members of society.